Welcome to this explainer. Look, right now the conversation around AI and jobs has basically turned into a giant panic room. You see the headlines, and honestly, it's super easy to feel completely overwhelmed. But today, we're going to flip that script. We're shifting your perspective from total panic to a highly empowering action plan. We'll look at the hard data, some wild historical economic patterns, and figure out the exact skills you need to become, well, irreplaceably human. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The AI Job Panic.
To really understand the absolute terror in the market right now, we have to start with this massive number, 85 million. By the end of 2026, a staggering 85 million jobs are projected to be displaced by AI and automation. Anthropic recently put out some research showing that computer programmers are facing a 45% replacement risk. Customer service reps, they're sitting at 42%. Data entry workers at 40%. And guys, the impact is already here. The Dallas Federal Reserve found that young workers, specifically those aged 20 to 24 in AI-exposed jobs, have actually seen a 14% drop in job finding rates since ChatGPT launched. Companies are making massive, sweeping moves right now. Block just cut 50% of its headcount. Pinterest laid off 15%, and eBay eliminated 800 roles. It's intense. But here is the massive number that absolutely nobody is talking about. 170 million. That's how many entirely new jobs are projected to be created by 2030, specifically because of AI. Sounds totally counterintuitive, right? I mean, how on earth can AI displace 85 million jobs, but then turn around and create double that amount in new opportunities?
Well, that brings us to Section 2, the Jevons Paradox Explained.
To understand how those 170 million new jobs seemingly appear out of thin air, we need to look at a 160-year-old economic plot twist. Back in 1865, an English economist named William Stanley Jevons noticed something really bizarre. When steam engines became more efficient and used less coal consumption didn't actually go down. Instead, it exploded upward. Why? Because the increased efficiency made coal way cheaper, and that unlocked entirely new uses and sparked whole industries that literally didn't exist before. And this brilliantly illustrates the paradox across history. Think about it. When ATMs rolled out in the 1970s, everyone thought, well, bank tellers are finished. But instead, ATMs made branches cheaper to operate. So banks just opened way more of them. And the total number of bank tellers actually increased between 1980 and 2010. Crazy, right? Same thing when CT scans got cheaper. The demand for radiology hit all-time highs because suddenly more people could afford them. Or take YouTube. It was supposed to kill television. And yeah, Hollywood lost from jobs, but YouTubing created up to 600,000 new ones. Now let's look at today. A 2026 Citadel report shows software engineering job postings are actually up 11% year over year, and GitHub is reporting a record 43 million pull requests merged. It's exactly the same pattern.
So, let's break down Section 3, 3 massive AI shifts.
The absolutely crucial point from history is this. AI isn't destroying demand. It's actually making human intelligence cheaper, which creates a massive explosion of new demand. And that brings us to our first major shift, the rise of the small, dynamic business, or what we can call the micro-empire. Consider this stat. 57% of U.S. small businesses are now investing in AI technology. That's up from just 36% in 2023. At the exact same time, there's been a 69% jump in people proudly adding the title founder to their LinkedIn profiles. AI has fundamentally collapsed the cost of starting and running a business.
The math has completely changed here. Think about a business that used to require 50 people and millions of dollars in venture capital funding. Today, that same output takes a tight-knit team of maybe 2 to 10 people and almost zero capital. To give you a real-world example, one entrepreneur recently built a bespoke applicant tracking system in just 1 week using AI. Normally, building software like that would have cost him around $500,000 and taken a solid 18 months. Now, the cost to go out and explore unmet needs has basically dropped to zero.
Moving on to the second shift. And honestly, this is the dividing line that matters most in the AI economy. Irreplaceably human skills are becoming the ultimate currency. It is no longer just about your education level or your salary. The jobs that AI displaces fastest are those purely desk-based digital roles. Meanwhile, the jobs that absolutely cannot touch, the physical, relational, and experiential roles, those are becoming exponentially more valuable. So the skills that actually survive look a bit different than what you might expect. First off, real-world physical trades. Plumbing, electrical work, bricklaying, these are about to be elevated like never before. I mean, an AI can't fix your house's leaky pipes, right? Then there's wide-ranging curiosity. Remember how Steve Jobs stumbled into a calligraphy class, and that's exactly why the Mac became the very first computer with beautiful fonts? That is cross-domain curiosity. And finally, sharing personal lived experiences. An AI has all the data in the entire world, but it has zero lived experience. Take financial planner Matt Pitcher, for instance. He gained a massive audience and totally exploded his business simply by giving a talk on what he personally learned from meeting 100 lottery winners. Generic informational content is pretty much worthless now. Authentic human connection is everything. This leads us to the third massive shift, the AI integration opportunity. Listen to me, this is the biggest blue ocean available to you right now. 57% of small businesses know AI will improve their lives, but most of them are using it completely wrong. They treat it like a basic Google search, type in a question, get an answer. But that is definitely not how the winners are operating. Mark Cuban perfectly hit the nail on the head regarding this massive skill gap. The real gold mine is finding insights that AI can spot when you feed it hard data. I'm talking about your PDFs, your spreadsheets, your call recordings. For example, one company fed 3 months of their sales calls into an AI and discovered something wild. 75% of their prospects mentioned needing their spouse on the call to make a decision. The company realized they were losing conversions simply because they never bothered to invite the spouse. AI found that hidden pattern. Bridging that integration gap for businesses is without a doubt the skill gap of the decade. Section 4, the data center bubble risk. Okay, before we get to your personal action plan, we have to acknowledge a major macro risk that's literally keeping financial experts up at night. Look at this staggering number, $650 billion. That is what we are spending this year alone on data center infrastructure just to power all this AI. But here is the terrifying caveat. These data centers, they only last 3 to 4 years before the hardware needs a complete replacement. They have the shortest lifespan of any major infrastructure investment in history. And historically speaking, every single time we have spent more than 3% of our GDP on an infrastructure build-out, whether that was the railways, the electrification grids, or the national highways, it has triggered a massive recession or depression. The AI technology itself is absolutely remarkable, no doubt about it, but this financial model is a critical earthquake we all need to be watching really closely.
All right, Section 5, your 5-step action plan.
So what does this all mean for you today? You need a personal playbook to navigate the chaos. Here is your 5-step action plan to become a first mover. Step 1, build a personal brand. Now, not to become a flashy influencer, but to position yourself with a targeted network of, say, 2,000 to 20,000 people who actually know what you do. Step 2, play with AI tools daily on your hardest problems. Have a serious bias toward just figuring things out. Step 3, discover and document your personal intellectual property. Those unique lived experiences that only you can share, that is your moat. Step 4, think small and dynamic. The sweet spot right now is a team of 2 to 20 people living with total flexibility. And step 5, move first on AI integration. Start integrating AI directly into your business's real day-to-day workflows. I'll leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. The future does not belong to the people panicking, and it certainly doesn't belong to the people ignoring the data. It belongs to the courageous first movers who adapt to become irreplaceably human. So, considering everything we've just uncovered today, what step will you take today to secure your place in this new economy?